see what you could possibly become. The problem is you don't see it just yet. I hope you see it sooner. I hope you don't see it when you're like 25 and you're like, oh man, when I was 18, I could have been all this. Not anymore, it's too late. And then when you're 35, oh my God, when I was 25, I was so stupid to think I couldn't do it. It wasn't too late, but it is now. And then when you're 45, I can't believe I was so stupid at 35 to think it was too late back then. You know, whenever I ask myself if something in life is it too late to do something, I always begin with this simple test. It's not too late. Yeah, it's not too late. And if I ever do this and it is too late, I guess the question doesn't matter anymore, does it? Anyway. There's a term called cognitive dissonance. That's when you realize that the way that you see yourself particularly is different from the way that other people see you. Especially if you see yourself in a very positive way. Like, oh, I'm very smart and I have great taste in shoe wear. And then you find out you're in the bathroom stall like in a movie, and you hear people outside in the washing their hands, and you go, oh my God, Scallon's boots. The guy's never even been on a horse before. He looks so stupid, but nobody wants to tell him. And all of a sudden you realize, wait, the way that I saw myself is very different from the way that other people see me. And you can have such wildly different perspectives, which almost means like we're not living in different realities at the same time, but we're living in such different perceptions of the reality that we might as well be living in different realities. It's so weird. Like, sometimes you can get that sense where, why do we see things differently? Because you just don't want to see it my way. You're so like convinced that you want to be right, or not that you want to be correct, but that you want to be right. You want everyone to acknowledge that you're right, even if you're wrong. That you'll just refuse to see it. You know, people will argue. We'll watch the same video, and we'll be able to rewind it, play it, and see such incredibly dramatically different things. You know? And even like how you see yourself, how other people see you. Some people are just like convinced, like you're saying, like, you know, you might think that you're not adequate, you're not good enough. But then other people see you and think you're very competent. People think that you're very fill in the blank of the thing that you don't see yourself as. And there'll be people who'll be like, oh, I'm very ugly, but other people don't think so. So what does that mean? It just means that you're not your own type. That's all. So don't date yourself. Find somebody who's more your type. Other people will find you to be their type. Some people think like, you know, other people see me as very smart, but I don't think that I am. Or worse yet, people think I'm very dumb, but I'm not. I have trouble expressing myself, or I have trouble speaking in front of people, or, you know, like being able to, like knowing that you have something inside of you and not being able to bring it out is difficult. It's really hard. I don't mean like in terms of skill, I mean it's difficult in terms of emotion, psychology. You know, some of you have some really neat things inside of you, but finding a way to bring it out is difficult. Some of you are so anxious and nervous and afraid, and it's hard from my perspective to sit here and go, you don't need to be though. Like you've got things together. First off, the fact that you are a little bit anxious and nervous is not a bad thing. First off, that should tell you that it's not you're not in as bad of a situation as you might think. It's kind of like if you ask me, Scott, am I crazy? I feel like I'm going crazy. If you feel like you're going crazy, good news. You're not crazy. A crazy person doesn't realize that they're going crazy. If you think you are, if you feel like you are, then that means that you're not. If you're a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous about the future, that's good, because that means you're probably going to be okay. Because if you're a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, that means you care. And if you care, then you're going to pay attention to it. You're going to be a little bit more conscientious about it. So that means you're probably going to be fine. And the only problem is if you're so anxious and nervous that it stops you from being able to enjoy the road as you're walking down it. You don't want to be that. Just like you want to feel a little bit guilty for bad stuff you do, just so you don't do it again. But you don't want to feel so terribly guilty that now you think lowly of yourself and you put yourself down and don't feel like you deserve good things in life. You should be a little bit nervous about life because it matters. It really does matter. If you're not nervous at all about life or anxious a little bit about life at least, that would worry me because it would almost be like you're either overconfident what you don't want to be, of course, because that's where you fall into that cognitive dissonance. I'm great. I've got this figured out. I'm perfect. And meanwhile, we're all over this sitting going like, does he even know that he's wearing his shoes on his head? He doesn't even know it, does he? In other words, you're so oblivious that you think you've got it figured out. It's just like if you remember the thing I've said to you, you don't know what you don't know. That people who think that they're the most competent are usually the least competent, and people who are most competent are usually people who are a little bit in the middle, a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, but there's an anxiety there, not like a freaking out anxiety, but an anxiety of, I better learn some stuff. I don't know everything. And I hate hearing this, man, but it's absolutely true. The more you learn, the less you realize you know. I hate that, dude. I hate that. I was sitting there last night at my gym. I was sitting on the wall, and I learned something last night. And I was so annoyed because it's a basic thing. And I'm close to getting my black belt, and I'm sitting with a couple of professors. They're all black belts. And I'm just shaking my head, and I go, dude, I'm sitting here. I'm like close to it. I don't know anything, dude. Like, this is crazy how little I know. I look at my belt. I'm like, dude, it's crazy. And then the guy sitting next to me goes, sounds like you're ready for it, dude. You're ready for your black belt. I'm like, because I don't know anything. I have to have like amnesia to all of a sudden deserve it. And they're like, no, because as soon as you get that belt, then you're going to really feel like you don't know anything, because you're supposed to know everything when you have that belt. And then you're going to realize how you don't know so much. And then that journey starts all over again, because then you just kind of, lifelong, learner. And I hate that, but it's absolutely true. Like I got my PhD, and I looked down, I'm like, so I'm supposed to know everything. I don't know. I don't. As soon as you get to a point of feeling like you know everything, you're not going to learn anymore. And do you ever know everything? Of course not. So that means that wherever you are, you're stymied. And there's also a really good chance that you don't know what you think you know. So if you're a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, that's good, because that means that you're going to want to learn more. And that's because you realize it matters to you. You're not overconfident. You're probably underconfident, because you're probably better than you realize. Most people are. And you're certainly capable of more than you realize. But a lot of times we project this onto the world. Like, everybody in here has everything figured out, I'm sure, about your future. You know where you're going. You know what you're going to do. Everything is perfect. You know exactly what you're going to do. Except for you. You follow? Nobody. Does anybody in here have it all figured out? No, nobody does. But we think everybody else does. We're the only ones who don't. Oh my God! Like, this person's going off to college. This person's going to the military. This person's getting a job, and here I am. I don't have anything figured out. But you know where they're going right after school, but you don't know where they're headed in life. They have like a little bit of step in a direction. Doesn't mean that they have it figured out. And so, if you don't have it figured out, that's fine. If you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life, that's good, man. This is May, June, July. I turned 45 this month. I'm sorry, this year. I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. I don't think I want to teach. But I don't know what I want to do. I want to find something else, though. Because there's always something else out there. There's lots to do out there. Some of the most interesting 60-year-olds I know don't know what they want to do with the rest of their lives either. Because the problem isn't that there's nothing to do. The problem is there's too much to do. And when you realize, and I mean you really realize, so much of it is available to you, even if you don't feel like it is right now. The problem is going to be is just settling down to one thing you want to do. You're going to come back around to when you were a 5-year-old and you wanted to be an astronaut and a veterinarian and a chef at a hotel. And you think, I'm going to do all three of those things. That becomes the problem. You're going to find other things that you want to do as well. Just don't ever fall into that trap of convincing yourself, oh, it's too late. I can't go to school for it now, or I have too many responsibilities now. I can't do this, I can't do that. Yeah, not with that attitude. Not with that attitude, but you can if you want to. And if you don't want to, then just acknowledge that. Say, I'd like to, but not at the expense of having to give up all this other stuff. I prefer what I have right now to what I could possibly have. And that's fine, because now it's a choice. Now you can be grateful and enjoy what you have. But as I'm telling you this, I know that there are some of you sitting there right now going like, I hear you, Scanlon. You think I'm capable of something, but that's because you don't know me. That's because you only know what sits in front of you in a classroom. Because I'm so incredibly inexperienced with people. I couldn't possibly figure things out or hear things or know things about you that you don't think I know. No, you're capable of so much more. You really are. You really are. And I say that as somebody who has a lot of experience with people. And I see what you could possibly become. The problem is you don't see it just yet. I hope you see it sooner. I hope you don't see it when you're like 25 and you're like, oh man, when I was 18, I could have been all this. Not anymore, it's too late. And then when you're 35, oh my God, when I was 25, I was so stupid to think I couldn't do it. It wasn't too late, but it is now. And then when you're 45, I can't believe I was so stupid at 35 to think it was too late back then. You know, whenever I ask myself if something in life is it too late to do something, I always begin with this simple test. It's not too late. Yeah, it's not too late. And if I ever do this and it is too late, I guess the question doesn't matter anymore, does it? Anyway, so yeah. Problem is that we construe people, we construe things. I refuse to face within myself the things that I'm going to face in the exterior world, not through you. In other words, I'm projecting out. You know, I think that people are going to benefit because that's what I'm afraid of. The things that you worry about in yourself are the things that you see in other people. You're on the alert for them. So, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques. Neat. Happy Thursday.